There we go. Okay. Welcome, y'all. Welcome to Freedom Fridays. I love when I get this all connected. It is gonna finally not be that. I'm gonna keep declaring it until it happens because it's gonna be real. Welcome to Freedom Fridays. I'm giving us a second to make sure everything is connected the way it's supposed to be in all the places. So enjoy the music, get your drink, get ready for happy hour. That's a big drink, so you can tell there's not any liquor in there. Put in the chat, what are you drinking today? I want to know what you're sipping on. And then, as you can see, our topic is work-life balance is a myth. I'm looking forward to this conversation today. Make sure you take a second to say hello in the chat. And I'm going to get this last thing up for us. Okay. I'm just opening. So today is going to be a fun conversation. You know, I love it when y'all send me content. And Keena sent me another piece of amazing content for us to talk about today. So I'm looking forward to us having a chat about it. I will make sure to share that on the screen. But in the meantime, tell me, how are you? How has your week been? Let me do that and let me take this off. There we go. So, yes, tell me how your week has been. What do you have going on? What are you celebrating from this week? You know, I always love to celebrate, to start with our wins. So tell me what you're celebrating. What is your win from this week? While you're doing that, I'm going to go ahead and take a second and tell you what my wins are. And I also realized something else I was looking for is not here, but that's okay. I'm going to find it really quick. So one of my wins, I survived the cold. Has anybody else? It was well, let me think. Where are y'all at? Keena, you might have experienced this. I'm trying to think. Megan, you're in Detroit, so I don't know if you would experience this. But this hurricane season that's blowing across Jamaica is blowing across the East Coast as well. So the last couple days in Atlanta and in Charlotte, it's been raining hard, and that's also made it super cold. So your girl was bundled up with 3 and 4 layers. I went from my hat to my sleeping cap, back to my hat. I think this is the first time my hair has been out in a couple days because I don't like cold. Is anybody else not like cold? Wait, except Keena. Keena, I know you don't like cold, and Megan said she would rather the cold than to be hot. So I guess some of us like the cold. Hey, Megan, happy Friday. So glad you got to join us today. You know, I love when you guys are here, when you are here. Where'd it go? Sometimes my windows. I'm just sipping. You know what, Megan? I'm just sipping water too. So I was gonna get one of my brother's ginger ale because I really want to get some coconut water. I just haven't had a chance to go do it yet because I think I'm gonna have to order it. I haven't been able to find that coconut water in a lot of different places. So I'm just sipping on regular water as well. So there's that. There is that. So cheers to your water. Cheers, Megan. Clink, clink, clink. I'm sipping on water too. So yes, tell me in the chat, what are you celebrating from this week? I want to know. Yeah, I want to know what you're celebrating so I can celebrate with you. Okay, so I was talking about surviving the cold. What else did I celebrate from this week? This week. Um, so I started a job on Monday. I am having mixed feelings about it. And it's very funny. When I told my business bestie about it, she immediately thought I was like, oh my gosh, And she was like, "Oh, I hope this job isn't so like, I'm sorry that this job is soul sucking." And I was like, "Wait a minute. I didn't say anything about the job being soul sucking." And I think that's actually going to be a topic that we talk about in the future, because just because you're in a job and your life is out of alignment doesn't mean it's the job's fault. If I were to go in this job and my life got out of alignment, it's probably because I'm not doing the other things that bring me fullness of life. And so I had to tell her, I said, I didn't say the job is soul sucking. I'm just saying I have to wrap my mind around it. Like, this is the first time I'm doing a job where I'm on location in a place, like in an actual going to a place in years. 6 years. Because even the job that I had before this that I did while I was working in my business, it was remote. And so I had the flexibility to come and go as I pleased, but this job is in a location. So there's just some differences. And yet I'm excited about what having this job is going to allow me to do in my business and how things are going to evolve. So and I actually choosing the job to be in a location rather than looking for something remote was very intentional for me, because anything that I have to do remote, I have to give a lot of brain space to, because it's on a computer. Like, I'm just straight up on my computer all day and night, right? So I go from one set of tasks on my computer for somebody's remote job to another task on my computer for my business. And I was like, that is a lot. And it takes so much mind space that I wasn't having enough mind space to do things for my business. Whereas being able to have this job where it's on a location, it's easier to turn off. And none of this is my passion. So it's actually like I get there, I do the work, but I'm thinking about my business and my to-do list and what I'm gonna do when I get home, so that when I get home, I could just jump into it and get the work done. And I'm actually really excited about that, because I think it's going to balance it very well. And this is actually one of the things when I work with my clients that we talk about, because we think that the immediate answer is to just quit our job. That's not always the answer. I'm not saying it's not an answer that you can't choose that answer, but don't assume that that is the answer. Also, too, understand like what are the repercussions and how are you doing an offboarding from that job to your next one, and how are you funding that transition point? Um, because making sure that your hierarchy of needs are taken care of in the transition is very important. It's one, if you don't have like a way to do that, it is the number one way to get yourself back in a job that feels soul sucking, not because the job is soul sucking, but you put yourself in a cycle, in a sabotage cycle from the beginning. And so I help my clients, whatever that transition is. And I'll tell you about this in my third win for the week. But whatever that transition is, that when you have that plan, it that's the part that keeps you going, it keeps you motivated, rather than feeling like I just can't take it anymore, I got to burn it all down. So yeah, I'm excited about it. It's taken me a couple days to wrap my mind around it and get excited about it. um I think there are still something. I think I'm gonna look a little bit more for a job, a little bit more. This one's gonna take a little bit longer in the transition to get into the full position than I thought it was gonna get into, that I know it's going to be. It's gonna take like closer to 3 to 6 months. And I want something that I can get into like 3 months and less. And here's the thing, I didn't know that until I started doing this part. So I'm not complaining. It just is what it is. I learned something new, and yeah, I'm excited for it. Yay, Megan said congrats on the new job. Thanks, Megan. I appreciate it. Cheers, cheers, cheers. um, so yes, that's my second win for the week. Y'all, my third win for the week. If you don't know this about me, let me tell you, I am an absolute nerd, okay? When I find something that I love and I'm passionate about, I can go so deep, so fast, and I want to tell everybody about it. And I have found a new thing to nerd out on, which I've been talking about here and there as we've been having the last couple weeks. But I have there's I've told you about Denise Duffield Thomas, and she is a money coach, a money mindset coach. But she has a course that's around building your business based on your money archetype. And I have taken the quiz, the assessment, and here's what's interesting about that. I took the assessment, and when I first took it, I thought that I've gotten like different archetypes every time I do it. And so I've been listening to her podcast as well, in addition to listening to the content. And I realized that part of the reason my test results have changed is because, and this is for any personality test, whether it's Myers-Briggs, Enneagram, any of those, like there's so many great personality tests to take. And I say take them all, because we think we know ourselves, but we don't really have the language around what our superpowers are. And when you don't know the language around what your superpowers are, you do not use them intentionally. That means occasionally you do it and something blooms and you're like, wow, that was amazing. And you're almost like, I don't even know how I did that. And you can't reproduce it because you didn't really, you were just doing it naturally. You were just doing what you inherently do, but you weren't able to name what that superpower is. And so you weren't able to focus your energy and how you use it again. Well, a personality test helps you change that, which is why identity is the first thing that we talk about in when I work with someone, and it's going to be the first part of um the community course that I'm finishing up, because I already have it created, that I'm getting ready for you guys. Um so in that part, like when you start taking these different tests, sometimes you're going to take the quiz, the assessment, the self-assessment, and you're going to get a result and you're going to be like, "Oh, I don't think that's quite me." And then you're going to take it again and you're like, "Okay, that's getting a little closer." And it's when you like really take the assessment and you stop answering the way you think you have to answer, or answer in a way that's not based on what happened today or how life is right now. When you shift that and you just answer the assessment based on, if if I could have whatever I want, if I could respond however I want and I didn't have to worry about how anybody responded, and you answer the questions that way, like you have no external factors um making you feel any emotional ways about how you answer, then you get to the core of what is the actual response you would have. And when you do the assessment in that way, then you get your actual like real archetype. Again, this doesn't matter whether it's Myers-Briggs, the Enneagram, the Sacred Money Archetypes, uh, the Colby, the DISC. I mean, there are so many assessments out there, and they're beautiful because they all tell you about you from a different perspective. So there's the Strength Finders. So there's no one that's better than the other. They're really good for you to understand yourself in the most well-rounded way. And so, can you tell I'm nerding out? I love stuff like this. It's my favorite. Okay, that's why and it's not just because I nerd out on it. It was also the part when I did this and I took these different assessments and I saw that there were other people like me and that it was shown as magical and it was shown as a strength rather than what sometimes if you tell something, if you talk about a part of yourself to a personality who doesn't have that, sometimes they see it as a weakness, but sometimes but truly it's your superpower. And so when I looked at it through the lens, like, wow, this thing is showing me what my superpowers are. And there are some things that I still need to, that are weaknesses. But when I focus on my superpowers and using those well, man, I'm like, oh, girl, you're magical. And I'm like, yes, boo. And I was just like, it makes it so much easier to stand in your power. It makes it so much, it gives you permission to want the things that you want and understand that that personality is not going to want the same things. So instead, you need to be with someone who is going to help bring out your personality rather than trying to make you be like them. And I love that because I'm so passionate about that. I think you guys have heard me say when you work with me, it's not about you becoming like me. Even the assessment, the soft life assessment, it's not about well, what kind of life have you built? It's about, do have you been using the skills to help bring out the perfect life for you? And if you don't know how to use those skills, no wonder you haven't found the perfect life for you, because you have kind of just been on the GPS, like moving around, if you haven't figured out what that is, where it points to. Okay, let me bring it back. I'm excited. So all of that to say, I took the assessment, and the first couple times I took it, I realized that I was answering some of the questions like afterwards. I realized that I was answering some of the questions based on like the things that are happening in life, and it was giving me results that I was like, oh, those aren't quite me. But then when I took it again, and actually I didn't even take it again. What I did was I downloaded the cheat sheet that had all of the profiles on it, and then because I'm in the course, I can get the deeper information about, here's how each of these, a deeper level of understanding of how each of these archetypes are. Then I was like, oh, take all of that other trash away, I can see what I could see what my archetype is. And it was actually very affirming and exciting. And she's very much like, see, now that you know what your archetype is, you could build a business that feels absolutely good for you. And it doesn't have to be put in anybody else's box. Like, you could find a business model that works for you, and you can attract clients that um will love your business model instead of trying to, it's like, instead of trying to pull teeth. And I realized, like, this is exciting. I love that kind of clarity, and I love that kind of understanding of myself. Because when I talk about, the opposite of burnout is not rest. Rest is a symptom of being on the other side, but it's not the opposite of burnout. The opposite of burnout is alignment. And so these are things that help me step closer into alignment. And maybe I'll make a freebie of like all the assessments that you can take, because I have my own assessments inside of my course, so it's not like you're taking away from any of, I'm not you're not taking any I'm not taking anything away from what I do by giving you that list. But the more that you really get clear on learning who you are and your superpowers, the better, the easier it's going to be to create your soft life, because it helps you take out the other trash of the external and the subconscious things of how you feel like you should show up. Like, it helps you get rid of your shoulds and land in alignment, land in me. And I'm like, oh, can you tell? It's amazing. It's amazing experience. So that's my third win from the week. I've been going deep into this self-knowing, self-discovery part of me. And I do this all the time. This is why I love being a coach because, and my favorite client, she's always like, I'm so glad that you do the hard work because then you teach me how to do the hard work. And I'm like, not hard, heart work. And I'm like, yes, that's how I love it to be. So that is my third win for the week. So that was very nerdy. Can you tell? My Myers-Briggs is an INTJ. My Enneagram is an Enneagram 5. I can't remember what my Colby is. The disc I should probably take again because I can't find my results. But I had at one time, I had a whole file of like I had taken almost every assessment I could find because the more that you understand yourself, you understand your superpowers and your sabotages. And um you don't need to spend your life trying to avoid your sabotages. You just need to know what they are so that when you start doing them, you can get back on track. But then you focus on your strengths. And that's what takes you from treading water to actually moving like swimming and like swimming good, like moving. So yeah, I geek out on this. I could talk about this for hours. So that being said, I gave you some time to think about what your wins are. Take a second, put in the chat, what are your wins from the week? I want to know so I can celebrate you too. Did you nerd out on something this week? Did something go well at work? Did something go well at home? Did you meet a new boo? Did you try a new drink? Did you travel somewhere? Did you just take a nap? And I'm not even saying just like, but did you take a nap? Did you rest? I want to know all the things. Okay. So go ahead and let me know in the chat. Now, while you're taking a second to do that, I'm getting a flow together for how I'm doing um how I'm doing Fridays going forward, and I'm really excited about it. Is this the one I'm looking for? No. Where is it at? Today, since we're talking about, I'm excited about this topic that Kina shared with us. Where is it at? I hate when I do that. Don't you hate when you can't find something? That's because it's new and I don't remember where I started putting. Okay, I think I found it now. So, I want to this is what we're talking about today, okay? We are talking about this video, this short actually. So I believe this is a clip from a longer video. I didn't watch the longer video. I only watched the clip from the short. But it's a clip from Alex Hormozi and I'm going to share it with you in a second. I'm going to share it with you after we do Sticka and a couple other things, okay? But here's my thought about it. I'm gonna say, don't believe what Alex Hormozi is telling you about winning if you want a soft life. If you want a life where you become a workaholic, where hustle culture is pressuring you to do more, if you want to be deep in your masculine energy, like if those are your vibes, please, by all means, y'all go be friends. But if you want a soft life, like I don't, this is what he says is not the vibe. And again, this reel is courtesy of Kina. Kina, shout out. Thanks for sitting in this. I think it's going to be a really fun topic. Now, here's the thing to if it's up to Alex Hormozi, okay, based on this reel, this short, I'm not going to say based on whatever else because I have followed him a little bit, but I haven't got too much into it. Okay, I don't. He's not really my vibe, so I'm not going to go too deep into him. But from what I could tell, if it's up to him and what he said in this video, you'll be working 100-hour weeks. You'll be living that vibe that says I'll sleep when I die, that kind of grind. And you'll be doing it all of the name of greatness, which you'll see what I mean when he says that. But that version of success, I think, man, listen, y'all know what I talk about. That's the version of success where you hope that you, especially for us as Black women, where our bodies are so deeply affected and we've been dealing with this trauma in our bodies for years and years and years. Like, don't even add like perimenopause and all of the things that are happening. I want to survive long enough to get there. And the way that he's talking about doing that, he gets to say that from a place of privilege. And I'm not saying that we don't get to take our level of privilege, but doing it the way that he's doing it, it's rooted in that bro hyper masculine mindset that says softness and success can't coexist. And I just don't believe that's true. I don't believe it's true at all. So um, I don't think, and this is the other thing that I love about Denise Duffield Thomas. Now this woman is a white woman from Australia that also has roots in the UK, but her whole vibe is chill and prosper. I'm about that life. Like that fits in my that's fixing my vibe all the time. So that's why I've been like nerding out to her content. But she says that too. Like, you don't have to struggle to succeed. Like, making money can be easy. Building a life that you love can be easy. Not to say that there won't be parts of it. Like she talks about when she had her kids and, when her husband left his job and started working for her, that there were parts that were hard and they had to adjust. But that doesn't mean that life had to be hard. That means that this part of life. That doesn't mean everything has to be hard. And she was still making amazing money. I would love to have her on here. She was a millionaire by 35. So you look at Alex and then you look at Denise, and I'm like, I'm going in that Denise vibe. But so we're going to talk about that today. So I want to hear your thoughts about if work-life balance is a myth, and what are your feelings about hustle culture, survival mode? Now, obviously, we talk about this all the time, but I'm curious to hear in this context when we bring Alex Hormozi's teachings into this, how you feel about it and where that's going to go. So I'm also going to share what I think balance balance actually looks like for women who want to build a business and still live a soft life, aka me. Like what it looks like for me to build a business and or a career, because I very much believe this applies to a career as well, that I love without allowing work to consume me and still be able to win or succeed. So, yeah, that's what we're talking about today. But like I said, I want to make sure if you've not had a chance to put your wins in the chat, go ahead and put your wins in the chat, okay? And then I also want to check on who's getting stickers from this week, okay? Listen, Keena, happy Friday, friend. I'm so happy you're here. Were you here in time to hear that we're talking about the topic you shared with me this week? I'm excited to talk about it. So I'm looking forward to us talking about all the things. If you have any wins, take a second to share them in the chat. I shared that my wins from this week, I survived the cold. That was number one. Number two, shoot, I forgot what number two was. Number three was that I've been nerding out on my money archetype and the things that I'm doing for my business, and that has been awesome. What was number two? I hate when I do this. This is why I have to write stuff down because it'll be gone and then I got to bring it back. So I can't remember what it was. But yes. Okay. So while we're doing that, of course, I want to make sure that we're giving out stickers, because Freedom Fridays always started as this reminder that for one, we need to celebrate ourselves, and for two, making a practice of getting rest every single week. Now, in the old rendition of what we did on Fridays, we would take time to schedule rest and fun every week. And now that's going to be moved into the program. Um, Again, because I wanted this to be a conversation space. So I feel like separating that allows it to be that. But you can always check out the replays. I've been updating the descriptions and the covers, but the Freedom Friday the co-planning sessions are still there if you ever want to do that and download the worksheets. They'll still be available. But in the midst of that, as we keep going in this new iteration of Freedom Fridays, I still want us to be intentionally thinking, wait, did I pause and take time for rest and fun this week? Which is why we're continuing the sticker check-in every, like, this the sticker check-in. That's what I'm going to call it going forward. So if you have taken time this week to make any time, 30 seconds, a minute. Um, oh, right. My second one was that I started a new job this next week. You're right. Thanks, Megan. Thank you. I forgot. Here's the funny thing about that one. I'm like, it's great. And yet I'm more excited about what it helps me do for my business. And that's okay. Like that's how you know work is not consuming my life. Like it's a part of my life, but it ain't taking it over. But yeah, so if you have prioritized rest, if you've taken time for rest at all this week, I want to give you a sticker. I want to positively reinforce. I want to celebrate you. I want to reward you for making time to get rest and fun this week. And so if that's you, I want you to take a second and put hashtag sticker in the chat so that I could give you a sticker for making time to get rest and fun this week. You deserve it. Now, here's the thing. If you are joining on the replay, hi, I just realized I didn't introduce myself because you're probably new. And if you're not new, that's okay. Hi, I am Rashadat, and I am a lifestyle coach. My whole goal is to help you turn your burnout into alignment, to help you come out of feeling like work is all consuming into creating a life that you love, a soft life. And so, if you're new here, welcome. And if you're watching on the replay and you prioritize rest and fun this week, take a second and put it in the comments in this video. Even if you're watching the replay, I will still add you to the check-in, because the thing is, when someone reminds you and celebrates you for doing something so countercultural, you're like, huh, I think I like that feeling. I think I should do it again. And that's what I want you to feel. I want this mustard seed. You always hear that in the Christian context, but did you know mustard seeds are small? They're like super, super small seeds. But when they are planted and they grow like wildfire. Okay, like they just, it's a bush. It's not tall. It's a bush that just can grow and grow and grow, all starting from a little mustard seed. And so I want this mustard seed of reward for rest in your life to grow and bloom and like wildfire all the way into your soft life, because you deserve to succeed, to win at life without letting work consume you. I most deeply believe that. So again, if you've made time for rest and fun, put hashtag sticker in the chat. Okay, cool. All right, so let me see. Do we got any stickers in the house? I will come back and check. So I don't, the chat is slow today. It's real slow, but that's okay. I will make sure I go ahead and put it in there. So let me share my screen. 11:21. Okay, cool. I think I'm going to pause the check-ins over the holidays. No, maybe not. Maybe I'll just extend this one all the way through the end of the year. Yes, let's do that. So let me share the screen so you can see. I am adding stickers to the spreadsheet. Oh, excuse me. Boba. That needs to be added in here too. So I'm gonna go ahead and add a couple more. Uh-oh, do I have some more in there? Okay, there was one. Add a couple more columns for December. Columns right. And this is going to go all the way through. I think there might be one more. through the end of the year. Let me see. Oh, cool. I had that. That was right then. Perfect, perfect, perfect. Okay, so it'll go all the way. The 26th will be the last Friday of the year. So our stickers will go all the way through that. Today is Halloween. Happy Halloween. Does anybody celebrate Halloween? I'm not really a Halloween girly, but I'm going to a how it's called a Hallow Hallow housewarming. So they're doing a housewarming. They're doing a Halloween party as their housewarming. A friend of mine from work, like, gosh, 12, a dozen years ago now. So that'll be fun. So I jumped ahead, but that'll be my fun activity for the weekend. But yes, if you want a sticker to celebrate, to remind you that you uh that you took some time for rest and fun. I just had a brain fart. Lord have mercy. Then go ahead and put that in the chat. Ooh, restores chat. There we go. I don't know what's going on with it today, but here we go. Meg, yes, Meg is getting a sticker. Let me go ahead and add it in. Here we go. I got Megan right here. Okay. All right. So now you still have time to put your wins in the chat and to tell me about to claim your sticker, okay? But I'm going to go ahead and share my screen for this. We're going to go ahead and jump into the conversation. I'm going to share this with you one more time. So here's what we're talking about. I'm saying don't believe what Alex Hormozi is saying about winning if you want to live a soft life, because if it's up to him, you'll be working 100-hour weeks, living in that sleep when you die grind, and all in the name of achieving greatness. I don't know if I'm with that, but that version of success, it's rooted in that bro hyper masculine mindset that says softness and success can't coexist. And I just don't believe that's true. Real success doesn't require struggle, it requires alignment. Okay. So today we're talking about why work life balance isn't a myth and how hustle culture keeps us trapped in survival mode, and what balance actually looks like for women building a soft, free life. I'm all about that soft, free life. My money archetype actually validated that. I cannot wait to get all of this to you. It's going to be amazing. So let's go ahead. Let me show you that video. Share here. It is this one. Okay. Let me start from the beginning. Okay, here it is.
At some point, every person who wants to achieve great things realizes that balance is a myth. And once they realize that, they become someone who achieves great things. Think about what mediocrity is. It's about being in the middle. It's the medium. It's being right in the middle, right? Balance. But anybody who is imbalanced is another way of saying more focused on the one thing will be better at that thing than you. And the question is just whether or not that thing that they choose to be better at will give them more leverage over all that other stuff later.
Here's what's interesting. The first thing, let me stop it because I don't want it to move forward. So let me go back to
At
the
some
middle, the
point,
beginning. Uh Here's the first thing that comes to mind for me is he equates balance to being mediocre, to being to to being a mediocre human. And I'm like, wow, that was a really far jump for me. Am I the only one? That was a really far jump, that you think that being balanced makes you mediocre. I don't agree with that. But I also don't believe in the word balance. He's saying, or I don't believe and how he's using the context of the word balance. I would define that a different. So what he's saying is like, if you want balance, that means that you just want to fly under the radar. You want to be in the middle. You don't want to be the worst off, but you don't want to be the best off. I don't think that has anything to do with balance. I don't think that has anything to do with balance. I think he's mixing the ideas of ambition and your level of ambition with balance. That's two different things, two different words. Megan said, I'm already exhausted listening to him for 2 minutes. Listen, you said some other stuff. You said, Megan said, I really don't celebrate Halloween, but I might watch a couple of scary movies later. I think I might have a Scream marathon. Girl, you got that Scream marathon. I'm not watching Scream. It's not even, you know what? It's not even about the movie. I'm just not a huge horror fan. I do like a good thriller though. So those can have scary parts, but like Saw and those kind of what was that one that's like all the eventualities that you think could happen. It starts with a P. I can't think of it right now, but I don't like that one either. It's like the screw breaks that hits something else that knocks you in the head that almost kills you, that and it's like this string of events that happen. I can't think of what it's called. But I no horror movies for me. Part 7 comes out in January. Oh, for Scream, girl, you got that. No Scream for me. Actually, I'm gonna come back to that conversation, Megan, around Halloween. I wish I would. I didn't realize that you had put a comment, but you said I'm already exhausted listening to him for 2 minutes. I agree. I don't. I just his whole mindset around what the term balance means, I think is absolute bullshit. And I think it's very, very bro. But I think honestly, I also have to be careful with content like this because I know people do it to stir up controversy and it gets them more views. Um, so I get it and I don't agree with it. When I think of the word balance, here's where I think balance is misconstrued or misunderstood, because I really feel like balance is your misunderstood sister, redheaded sister that's like nobody's really given her a chance to fully be herself. That's how I feel about the word balance. When I think of the word balance, or when I think of how people interpret the word balance, I think most people think of the word balance as you stand still and you're stoic and you're unmoving and you're just there. But even let's just take it into the context of yoga. When you are doing tree pose and the goal is to work on your balance, they say it's quite normal for you to sway and adjust as you're standing on that one foot, because balance has nothing to do with being unmovable or being stoic. It's all about being able to ebb and flow and use your muscle to hold yourself up, right? I think that's a very different feeling and a very different interpretation than what he just said about yes, that is the movie I was thinking about, Megan. We're going to come back to that. But that's a very different interpretation of what the word balance is. And so many people get mad at the concept work-life balance is a myth, because in their mind they think that the scales of balance should always be like this and they should never move, that the scale should always stay around here. That ain't even real. Balance could still, this is still balance. Even if they're going back and forth, that's still balance. Okay. So the way that I like to think of the word balance, and a lot of the ways that I think people are reinterpreting that word to make themselves feel better, but it really is still the same thing. But who am I? What do I know? My opinion, my 2 cents. But my idea around balance is to think of yourself on a surfboard, okay? The surfboard is the way that you ebb and flow through life, the way that you make decisions. Your surfboard is the way that you make decisions, okay? The water below the surfboard is life. That water is rushing through, hitting the coast, going back out, coming back in. Like it's always moving and you are riding the waves. How you balance on that, how you keep yourself on the actual, because I don't want to use that word in this description of it, but how you use that word, or how you use your positioning, your ability to ebb and flow with the board on top of that water, is what I actually call balance. It's not stoic, it's moving. Like when you see a surfer, I wish I would have had of I didn't even think about this. Let me see if I can find one really quick. But when you look at a video of a surfer, they're like they're using muscle. They're doing some amazing work, and there's nothing about it that's like I'm completely in one spot the whole time. They're kind of tweaking and pivoting. They are tweaking and pivoting their weight and shifting their weight as the water continues to move under their body. Like that to me is balance. That's balance. That's what we're saying, work-life balance, that we're trying to make work. We're trying to make harmonize. So work and life are the water fighting against each other under your board, okay? It's doing all the stuff. It's flowing in. It's got heavy waves and all the things. And here's the thing about it. It's beautiful. The water is absolutely beautiful. It's clear. You can see all the way to the bottom. There's coral, there's sharks. There's all this beautiful sea life in the water. The water is beautiful, but we're getting mad at the water for being water. We're getting mad at life for being life. Come on. This is part of the adventure. Did you come to this earth to just sit here and be safe? I think sometimes we get so, especially because the way our world is now, like we don't feel safe, I think, in a lot of different work atmospheres, and we don't necessarily have enough to balance that at home to make us feel like we're fully alive. So then we let work and our fears around it consume us. And in the midst of that, we forget how to pivot on this surfboard of life. That's that's where my mind goes to. So I want to see. I saw Megan had a comment come through. Let me see. Megan says, to me, balance means fair and or equal. Split down the middle so you have a good work-life balance outside of work. And see, here's my thing. Equality doesn't even mean split down the middle. Where's where's that? Oh, that's another good one. Let me see if I can find that. Um, let me see if I can find this image of equality. Because we think equality is like, oh yes. Or oh, here's what it is. Let me share this screen. Or maybe let me say it this way. Actually, this helps because I think this would give a different perspective to it. You see this image on the right? Let me see if I can I make it bigger? Yes, I think I made it bigger. Uh Share this tab instead. Okay. You see how we said you said split down the middle is equality? Equality means that we all got the same box and that everybody gets to stand on the box. But that's not what helps everybody see over the fence. Equity. At least that's how they're explaining the words. And I'm kind of in that same mindset as like, we keep trying to make balance something that's about splitting it equally half down the middle. And I don't think that's what it is. So that's why I tend to try to use the word harmonize, because that seems to be the word that people gravitate more to, is that we're not looking for work life balance. We're looking for work life harmony where both have space to fully belong. But that also means that we have to be intentional about making space for life to fully belong. Don't be mad at me for saying this, but like, I have to be honest even with myself. When I felt like I didn't have like that I wanted more from life, why did I not have more from life? Because I was allowing work to consume my life, and I wasn't making space for life to fully be present. But there's a good part about that. I mean, on one hand, you're like, "Ooh, well, I don't want to take ownership for that," because it's easier to blame it on everything else. But if we take ownership for it, the beautiful part about that is that I can change what I have ownership of. I can't change what I don't have ownership of. That means I'm leaving my harmony, my balance, my freedom to somebody else, my alignment to somebody else. And I don't want to do that. So I'm going to take responsibility, because when I take responsibility, I know I can change it. It might not happen overnight. It might not be the easiest thing I've ever done, but I can change it. So when I think about splitting, when I think about the definition of balance that way, so I'm curious, Megan, what thought does that bring up in you? Again, I'm sharing opinions, and just different perspectives, because that's one of my favorite things to do. Um, so Megan said, so I am probably probably other people are getting equality and equity confused. That picture helps. It's a really good picture, right? I can't remember where I've seen it, but I've seen it in a couple different places. But I just think sometimes the illustrations, and this is one of the other ways that I get nerdy, is like to look at the definition of words. So let's do that for a second. Um, let me switch back to share this tab instead. Define balance. Let's see what the actual definition of the word balance is. Come on. My thing has been doing. Okay, here it is. An even distribution of weight, enabling someone or something to remain upright. Now, here's again. Remember, I just said about the scales? If you're an even distribution of weight, doesn't automatically stay like this. When you're getting on, what is that? The ball. What's that? It's a workout, a piece of workout equipment that the ball is on the underside and it's flat on the top. The whole point of that exercise is to learn how to balance. But you don't get on that and balance by just standing still. You get on there and you learn how to pivot and ebb and flow like this. And if you're looking at this is a regular distribution of weight. If you try to just stand like this, probably gonna fall off, right? So I like the idea of I guess, and maybe I'm cutting hairs. This is why I like to talk about it. Even distribution of weight, because that's even the same thing that I'm saying on a surfboard. If you get on a surfboard and you don't try to move with the water and the surfboard and everything that's moving around you, you will not be able to evenly distribute your weight to counteract the different things that are happening. You've got to be able to pivot and move. And so maybe it's less. So then, Megan, tell me this. Maybe it's less about whether it's split down the middle and more about our skills to be able to pivot and ebb and flow without getting thrown off. Maybe that's a better way to describe it. I don't know. Let me look at the other word that I wanted to look up. What did I want to look up? I can't remember actually. But let's look up harmony because so many people are going towards this word instead. I don't know that I think it's better, but I think it's more understood. Harmony is the combination of simultaneously sounded music notes to produce chords having a pleasing effect. Okay. So the combination of work and life having a pleasing effect. Okay, I can see that. An arrangement of the four gospels. Okay, we don't need that definition. Let me go back to balance. The other definition said a condition in which elements are equal or in the correct proportions. Correct proportions. Because I think some of the words, I think the words like equal, equality, equity, I think those are maybe the words that we get confused. Maybe not the other part of it. Oh, I know what I wanted to look up. Let's see what it says work life balance is. It says work life balance is the state of equilibrium where a person can effectively manage their personal responsibilities and their personal life, um, which includes family, friends, hobbies, and health. It's prioritizing both the career demands, and personal well-being. Have we talked about my whole vibes around the word priority and how it's not supposed to be pluralized? Priority is supposed to be one priority. It was never a word that was supposed to be pluralized, but in the spirit of capitalism, the word has now been pluralized to priorities, which is why the quote that has come out of that is if everything's a priority, nothing's a priority. If everything's important, nothing's important. You see my water bottle telling me to drink some water. Let me take a pause and take a sip. Mm. It said, girl, take a breath. Let me know. I'm really curious. I love this conversation. Keena, thank you for sharing it. I'm just curious. Megan, also thank you so much for your comments. Uh please, like I think it's very fun to hear our different thoughts around it. Um and even like my thought where I was like, I don't believe it's about being cut down the middle, but then when we look up the definition clearly says it's about being equal. I don't like the I don't and I can you tell I don't agree with that. I don't think work life balance makes anything equal. Um because as an entrepreneur, if I equally worked on my business as I work on what this job that's coming up, there would be no time for me to sleep. Like, and I guess maybe this is where he's saying the idea of being of balance is a myth. Let's go back to the short and listen to it again. Share this tab instead. Keena had some really strong feelings about it too. Keena, I would love to hear what are your thoughts? Um, I can read out what you told me in the chat or when you DM'd me, but I want to make sure you're okay with that before I do that.
At some point, every person who wants to achieve great things realizes that balance is a myth. And once they realize that,
Wait. So his whole that whole thing is I want to let's listen to that again.
at some point, every person who wants to achieve great things realizes that balance is a myth.
Okay. So that's already pretty controversial at that, even at that moment, because it's saying that he's almost saying like, if you actually believe that you want to achieve great things, and if you don't believe this, then it's like the backhanded way of saying that if you don't agree with me, then you must not want to achieve great things, which again, I think it's BS. And I think it's very bro mentality. And I think it's very almost gaslighty, manipulative. But it's his opinion. So I'm not saying that his intention was to do that. But it's already very like split. It's already splitting the different parties of like, well, those who believe that you can accomplish great things and those that don't even believe that they can accomplish great things. Like, y'all just go over there. I'm not even talking to y'all. Like, y'all don't even get a vote. That's kind of weird. That's what I think of when I hear that.
And once they realize that, they become someone who achieves great things. Think about what
So now he's saying, I'll go back. I want to hear that part again.
at some point, every person who wants to achieve great things realizes that balance is a myth. And once they realize that, they become someone who achieves great things.
So until you realize that balance is a myth, that work-life balance is a myth, there's no way you can achieve great things. That's pretty much like the other way that he's saying this. Which I don't have the case studies for a whole bunch of celebrities, but let's just look at Zoe Saldana for a minute because I did do a case study on her. And Zoe Saldana has accomplished great things and she's given up her work-life balance in order to do so. Like she said that or I won't say that she's said that she's given up her work-life balance, but she's accomplished great things. But she's also said that she's want more from life. So this is where my title comes from because I guess also too, maybe it's the question of what do you define as great things? Who defines what great things are and what are those great things? And do you actually want those great things? Because that statement in it said that you want great things is very broad. I know I want great things. The great things that I want to live a life where work doesn't consume me. I want to be rich in a tiny house. I want to continue traveling. And I don't believe I have to do that with I don't need to do that by letting work consume me. And the things that I want don't make me mediocre. Because that's kind of the other thing. It's like he's saying that if you don't want great things, then you're automatically mediocre. But who decides what things are great? Like who decides I what I want for my life? My tiny house is great. Are you talking about rich in a tiny house is great? That's what I want. So do I have to give up work life balance in order to get to that? That's those are the questions that I'm like, this is where I'm like, I think it's very interesting to hear perspective around that. Okay. Uh Megan, one of your messages went away. So I don't know if you want to try and post it again, but I missed it. Okay. So Megan said the definition of equity and how it would relate to work-life balance is throwing me off now because maybe it's not actually attainable. One or the other has to give. I think that's interesting. Equity and work-life balance, is it attainable? I mean, that is the conversation. Is equity I think that most, especially politicians, would say, is equity actually attainable? I think most politicians would say no. I think that most rich people would say no. I would say that anybody that believes in a caste system would say that equity is not attainable. So then that comes back to, like, what are your values? What do you believe about the world? Like, what do you fight for? Um And those are the same people that probably say work life balance is not attainable. Whereas I'm going to talk about Denise Duffield Thomas. I have been binging on this woman's content from Get Rich Lucky Bitch to her book Chill and Prosper, to her podcast Chill and Prosper, to her course. And I have been binging so much on her. For one, because she's a woman. For two, she believes in equity. For three, she believes in work-life balance, even though her money archetype is a ruler. She will clearly tell you that what balance looks like for one money archetype is not going to be the same as another archetype. Balance for a romantic archetype is not going to look the same as a ruler archetype or a maverick archetype or a connector archetype, which is why these archetypes are so beautiful and why I'm so excited to get certified and add it into my course, because it's going to allow me to help you define what your soft life looks for like for you to an even deeper level. I already do that. I already have the resources in there to do that. Now I'm just adding another level in there. But I say all of that to say, you look at Alex, who is really this bro masculine energy, like thorough bro masculine energy. And you look at Denise, Denise is thorough. She's a ruler, like a full out boss lady, making millions, okay? Doing it the chill way, still having a family, not having to give up her family or any of these things. And she's full on like, yeah, you can. You might have to change some things. You have to change your mindset around it. You have to change your money blocks around it, which are all of the things that I believe and agree with. But it doesn't mean it's impossible, you know? So Megan said, but if that's the case, I'd much rather give up work. Amen, Megan. Amen. Right. If I'm going to have to choose between work and life, because you're telling me I can't have both, then I'm going to give up the work and I'm going to go enjoy my life. Yes. Yes. And amen to that. And I don't really think we have to sacrifice one or the other. I think it's about being creative in how we do it. And also, too, we have to remember our society is built on a patriarchal idea of the world, a masculine energy of the world. And we are in an era where women are standing up and we're saying, hey, this patriarchy isn't working for us. It's about time that we do something different. And that means that sometimes we have to like say, your ideas around something are absolute bullshit. Which I'm not going to lie, that's what I'm saying right now. And here's the other thing about that too. Just because we don't see that in mainstream industry and mainstream life, mainstream culture, doesn't mean that it's not possible. And it's also might not, it won't be as immediate because It's not like our culture is set up for us to be able to just make that switch. I think we're moving in that direction, but it's taking us to pioneer it, to make it happen in this lifetime, but then see it happen for generations of women to come after, you know? Keena said, I tried to imagine his views fully. I listened 10 times until I got a headache. In conclusion, I really do feel that he is a competitive narcissist with no harmony with life. Keena, I'm not gonna lie. I I get that. I can see where you've come to that conclusion. I can completely understand that. And I mean, he gets to choose that. That's the whole beauty of what America is supposed to be. It's not always that, but what it's supposed to be is that we have the opportunity to choose how we live our lives, because supposedly we didn't really have those kind of choices in England. I'm not sure that we completely have them here, but we're rebelling just like the people who left England were rebelling. But not even that, just like our forefathers that were slaves that decided, I'm not going to let you to continue to enslave me, and fought for something better. Like that's what we're doing right now. Someone has tried to tell us this is the way of life, that slavery was the way of life. And we said, nah, 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 nah. As soon as I get a chance, listen, I had freedom before. As soon as I get a chance, I'm out of here. And the only way you're going to stop me is if you kill me. But otherwise, we're going to make this, we're going to change this. And that is the legacy that we continue to bring forward, is like, no, we're going to fight for this. This is something beautiful. Our freedom is something beautiful and absolutely worth it. Where's Keena's? I lost. Here we go. Keena also said, it is the psychopathic mind that competes for the winner takes all. And equity is considered weak and undeserving. Exactly. Exactly. Which where's that image at? Because when you look at this image, let me go back. It means that based on some way that you were born, whether you were born short or born black or born any way other than this, than the highest level of caste, you don't get to be appreciated, and you just have to deal with it. That's anything outside of that's anything outside of equity. Share this tab instead. I want to read that again, Keena. Where'd it go? So many screens. Um, here it is. Keena said, it is the psychopathic mind that competes for the winner takes all. Why can't we all be why? But this is where and here's I want to try to appreciate. I don't want to tear down what I'm going to call another faction or another personality, cuz here's what makes all of this very interesting. Is based on the personality, you might gravitate more towards competitiveness, and then based on how you were brought up, that could have been expounded by psychopathy or narcissism, like all of these other things. Um, but what it comes down to is that regardless of what, and I'm bringing it back to the personality test, regardless of what personality test you take, whether it's Myers Briggs, whether it's the Enneagram, whether it's the archetypes, everybody has a place. Like there's nobody left out. And a healthy version of a competitive mindset helps us continue to grow and evolve as humans. But a negative mindset around competitiveness says that if we try to create an equitable community, that it brings the strong down in order to help the weak. That your weakness is a limitation that i- it's so demeaning. There's no other way to say that. And it also says that if you're quote unquote weak by somebody else's standard, that there's no space for you. But I don't think that either. And that's the other reason why I love the personality test, is because yes, you're gonna see that there are weaknesses, but he has weaknesses in places where other people are strong, which is why he hires them. And that's why when we make our communities, and even in what this community is about, like, we all are going to have different strengths, we're all going to have different personalities in this. But if you bring it together and put it together like a puzzle, that's what allows us to that's what allows the world to become a better place. Like, my whole belief system and the way that I built this course was, my whole goal was, or what I saw as the problem with the world, was that people like this, let me not say that for him specifically. I'm not going to put that on him because I don't know him well enough. But the mindset like this, a mindset that says um mediocrity and weakness are not okay. Like, that we all have to aspire to somebody else's idea of greatness. Um Instead, if we spent less time going after that mindset of, I need to aspire to what somebody else's mind of greatness is, and we actually learned how to just be fully ourselves, if we all in this world learn to be fully ourselves and really had full dignity, because I think that we have an epidemic losing of stealing and trashing somebody else's dignity. And I don't want that. I want everybody to see that you have so much worth and value that God created in you from the time that he thought of you in his mind and started to create all of the different things about you, strengths and weaknesses, because he gave you strengths even with weaknesses. We all have both. We all have both. That from that moment you had dignity, you had self-worth, you had worth and value. You had dignity from the beginning. Dignity is that combination of worth and value. um and when we live fully in our dignity, if everybody does that, and we stop being crabs in a barrel, because the reason we act like crabs in a barrel is because we think we have to cut somebody else down to get our dignity. I don't believe we have to do that. But when you create spaces where everybody can be fully in their dignity and we all get to do that, that's when the world becomes a better place, because we all are a part of this puzzle and everybody is now fitting into the different pieces that they were meant to be. And when you do that, the different colors that Megan brings, that Kina brings, that I bring, that Marissa brings, that Tracy brings, that um Sam Marie brings, like, when we bring all of those different colors and different pieces of the puzzle together, and you see that picture all laid out, it makes this beautiful, absolutely beautiful picture. And we actually get to see, that was the picture that God actually created, was that picture with all of these different colors mixing together on the puzzle pieces. But right now the puzzle pieces aren't really connected. It's like puzzle pieces connected over here, some over here, some over here, and we're not getting, because it's like some puzzle pieces are like, well, I don't want to be connected to you. Or you're weak or you're not working hard enough. Bull. You didn't have to work to have dignity. God gave it to us all from the beginning. Does that make sense? I'm going on a rant. That's I mean, I think everything that he's saying is like, I guess here's what I'm gonna say. I guess for there to be, there are going to be people in like him in this world, and there are going to be people like us in this world. Is the world balanced if there's half of the world is him and the other half is us? Is that balance? I don't know. That was a different way to take the conversation. Let me finish playing it. I want to finish playing this video. Let me play it one more time. Or I think we were about halfway through. Here, share.
Think about what mediocrity is. It's about being in the middle. It's the medium. It's being right in the middle, right?
Yeah, I don't agree
Balance.
with that. Let's look at what is the definition of mediocrity. Uh, mediocre. I think the median is the middle. I don't know that mediocrity is mediocre. Let's see. I mean, they all come from the same word. Let's see. Mediocrity. Define mediocrity. Let me see. Share this tab. The quality or state of being mediocre. Okay. Let's see what mediocre means. Only moderate quality, not very good. Nothing about mediocre says being in the middle. that balance and mediocre are the same. Those aren't even completely similar. Words are ordinary, common, commonplace, indifferent, and average. Balanced and the word mediocre are not the same at all. Just not the same. But okay, let's go back to what he was saying. Um let me see.
But anybody who is imbalanced is another way of saying more focused on the one thing will be better at that thing than you. And the question is just,
Okay. Now, here he's distorting focus. I fully believe in being fully focused on one or two things. I don't know that that means you're balanced, or I don't agree that that means you're balanced or imbalanced, because I think that, I don't know. I think we've talked about this. Yeah, we have. Because I remember Tracy getting on a rant. The content, the idea that um multitasking is going to help you get more done is absolute bullshit, because you're not fully giving your mind to any one thing. Your mind is riddled with so much things going on, going in different directions. It's like you're literally creating chaos in your mind. Maybe you might do that here and there, but when you create your whole life around doing multiple things, you're always going to be fighting over, like, your inner being is always going to be fighting over what's my priority right here. And if one day your priority is over here and your other day your priority is over here, it's always going to be this push and pull, especially if those priorities are not going in the same direction. Like, focus is about whatever you're doing, have it go in the same direction. When you're multitasking, it's not going in the same direction. So I also don't like, there is something about being focused that will help you become great because you're just putting in the reps. I don't necessarily think that that takes away from having work-life balance. You can put in the rest and still make time to rest. You can put in the work and still make time to rest. It just means whenever you show up to do the work, you're focused on that thing rather than multitasking and doing multiple things. That doesn't mean that rest can't happen. Like he's just taking all of these concepts and mushing them all together. Listen, I forgot. Let me do a down on that. Yes. It doesn't matter for him. He all it means is he's getting something out of it. But let me see. I want to make sure you guys didn't say anything. Keena said the empathetic mindset aspires for rest and comprehends ebbs and flows of circumstances. I really like your explanation of living with full dignity and respectful of others mindset. Thank you, Keena. I think that both can exist. I believe God's goal was for both to exist. Because here's the thing: if God didn't believe in equity, let me say that. This was Jesus download because I don't know where this came from. I would say if God didn't believe in equity, he would have killed Lucifer. He wouldn't have banned him. But instead, he made space for him to show up as well. Equity? Because justice could have been like, I'm just gonna get rid of you because you don't get it, right? I don't know. That's one thought. But I also think that God showed us from the beginning that work-life balance was possible because he did this. On day 1, day 2, day 3, day 4, day 5, and day 6. God got up and he worked. And then on the 7th day, what did he do? He rested. But here's how we mess that up, okay? When the Jews got into the desert, okay? There wasn't a lot of food. God said, I will provide you the manna. And our whole mindset was like, God, I'm scared to trust you. Is that not the same thing we do with rest? Is that not the same reason why we keep telling ourselves to work harder? Because God, I can't trust that if I rest on this day, that you're going to make the other things that I think need to happen on the other 6 days. So I'm going to give up rest and I'm going to work hard on Sunday because I can't trust you. I literally have I'm not telling you any conversation that I haven't had with myself. And then God says, I mean, if you want to do that, you get to choose that. But I didn't choose that for you. That's not how I created it. I created a space where you don't have to work all the time, where you can have work-life balance. I created a life where I wanted you to live your life. And really, the only reason you're working is because I asked you to chill out when we were in Eden and you didn't trust me there either. So you want to keep making this worse by working harder and harder and harder? Okay. I mean, that's what free will is. I'm going to let you do what you do. I'm not going to turn my back on you because I love you, but I'm going to let you get what you asked for. And yet, so we're saying it's a myth, but that's almost to me like saying, actually, now that I'm thinking about it, that's like saying God is a myth. And I sure enough I don't believe that. Listen, Keena said, you hit the nail on the head. Balance and mediocre are not the same in definition, nor in connotation. He needs to use a better analogy. I agree. I think he got in the midst of things and he thought he was on a roll. And I'm like, boo, nah, not quite. Not quite. Maybe that bro mentality. Maybe them bros thought that, but nah, boo. Let me see. How many views did this get? It got 3,600 likes It got 50,000 views. Now here's the thing. Just because it got 50,000 views doesn't it didn't it got almost less than, let me see. Maybe like 2%. How many likes is that? Hey Siri, what is the
Uh-huh.
percentage of 3.6 thousand to 50,000?
I found some web results. I can show them if you ask again from your iPhone.
Cancel. My calculator is on my iPhone. Let me see if I can do it on my computer. Calculator. I'm sorry, I don't do math in my head. I don't do this kind of math in my head. I can figure out the formula, but not the actual. Come on. What's happening right here? Okay. Calculator. No, I just want one right here. Okay, so 3, oops, clear that. 0 divided by equals. Uh that's less than 1% of people agreed with him. 0.7 of people agreed with this video. I think that's actually good metrics because it's bullshit. Oh, where's the comments at? Let me go back. Where was I at? Okay. Okay, he needs a better analogy. Keena said, mic drop. God worked and then he rested. Yes. Here's the thing. He showed us that it's possible from the get-go, from jump. And the Jews also showed us that we were going to struggle with it from jump. So now it's how do we continue to be intentional about how we create balance, how we prioritize life over working, or harmonize the two. Let's use that word since I feel like it's more accepted. It's how can we be intentional about harmonizing the two in the same way that God showed us from jump when he created all of this beautiful world. I'm not saying I have it all figured out. This is the other thing that I love about Denise Duffield Thomas. One of her best quotes say, "Don't be a guru, be a contributor." I'm contributing to the conversation that I have found that there are 3 skills that have helped me navigate creating harmony. And those 3 skills are the skills that I teach when you work with me, whether we're coaching, whether we're in my course and community, even the stuff that we're talking about here. All of my topics are going to come back to creating that harmony or balance because he showed us how to do it from the get-go, but we have a hard time doing it in our humanity. And he's okay with us being human. He created us human from the beginning, and he knew that we would need to commune with him in order to really make it happen. And the things that I am sharing are what he showed me about creating this harmony. An interesting thing, we're gonna keep talking about this, talking about the archetypes. So if you don't like hearing about the archetypes, you might want to exit stage left because this ain't going away. Like this is, I'm so excited to get certified in this and really can like take this even another step deeper. But you start learning what your archetype is, your money archetype, that's going to help show you your sabotages and the specific sabotages that keep you from having life. Because your money sabotages convince you to work harder. But when you figure out how to overcome, or they don't ever completely go away, but you learn how to adapt, like how to minimize them and move forward through them more quickly, it brings forth more life. It helps take all the skills that I just told you about, those 3 skills. It helps take it to the next level because now you understand how you're sabotaging your own actions towards these three skills. That's why I'm adding it into this because God already said, show him how to create vision, how to build life systems, not work systems, life systems, and support them through it. Create a community around it so that this can spread. Those are the three things. Yeah. Okay. Did I finish it? I don't know if I finished it. Okay. Let's finish it.
Just whether or not that thing that they choose to be better at will give them more leverage over all that other stuff later.
Okay.
At some point, every person who wants to achieve great things realizes that balance is a myth. And once they realize that, they become someone who achieves great things. Think about what mediocrity is. It's about being in the middle. It's the medium. It's being right in the middle, right? Balance. But anybody who is imbalanced is another way of saying more focused on the one thing will be better at that thing than you. And the question is just whether or not that thing that they choose to be better at will give them more leverage over all that other stuff later.
Okay. So here's what I'm going to say conclusion. Okay? Um if you're waiting, if you want your greatness to let me no, that's not what I'm going to say. How do I want to say this? Focus is a beautiful aspect of life. And there's going to be times of life where you do multiple things, but none of those things determine your greatness. And your level of balance has nothing to do with being mediocre. let me create this a little bit more coherent. Okay. I think I've clearly stated I don't agree with him and really the only thing that I do agree with him is the more that you focus and you put in your heart towards something that you truly want is more likely that you'll finally accomplish it um because you're learning on the way. You're learning how to do it in a way that fully develops you and allows whatever you want allows you to acclimate to be able to receive the things that you want. Last week we talked about incremental upgrades, and sometimes the things that we want, it's not that we didn't get to that thing because it's impossible. It's that sometimes we needed to acclimate ourselves to even be able to receive the thing that we wanted. So whatever greatness you believe that you want, let me stop that. Which I'm going to put into this context is building a soft life. If you really want that greatness, understand that it's not going to happen by um it's not going to happen by you giving up your life. It's going to happen by you choosing to choose what you want and to keep going after it and building a life around building that. And so within that, whatever greatness that you want to be should be in consideration with your soft life and understand that you don't have to sacrifice your life by working hard to get to that thing you want. Like that's you don't have to do that. That's like an accumulation of power. You don't have to do that. Nothing about this, nothing about living fully means that you have to work harder to get there. You don't. Not at all. Um I hope that that was more coherent than the what I said in response to him. I love that he gave us something to talk about. I love that these kind of conversations help us get a better stake in the ground around what we believe and what we value. And again, those are things that we talk about um once we get to when we start working together. So uh yeah, these are great conversations and I love having them. And I'm excited for some of the future conversations that are coming. Meg says, I'm very interested in learning about the money archetypes. I've never heard of that before. It is absolutely amazing. And you know what? You can go and take the her money archetypes quiz right now. Um like I said, I'm getting certified in it, but that doesn't mean the money archetypes quiz. Let me see. I think it's let me do. I know what it is. I just my brain is trying to do too many things. Slash quiz, right? Yes. Okay. So I'm gonna give you this link. Let me share the screen so you could see it. You could go take the quiz right now, and then once I bring it into the program, the thing that I love about Denise Duffield Thomas is that in her presentation. Oh, let me finish sharing before I start talking. She's going to talk about it in the context of a business perspective, the money archetypes, and I'm going to talk about it in the context of a life perspective. And they're two sides of the same coin. So it's really fun. I'm already excited about it, which that's why you keep hearing me talk about it. So I'm going to I would love to hear once you take it, I would love to hear what your archetype is. Let me go ahead and put it in the chat. Alex won't derail our softness and balance. Come on, right? Yes, Kina. I love that, right? um, yes. So there's the link to the quiz, to the it's longer than mine. Mine is only, but mine is different. Mine is about the skills. I'm excited. I might actually make a money archetypes quiz once I get certified, but you can take the assessment now. And like I said, when you take it, try to take it with the context of not not allowing your now to affect how you answer the questions. That being said, once I haven't decided what to call it yet. That's why I keep stumbling every time I say it. Once the program is open, um we will be having calls where we'll be talking about like kind of weeding through this and getting down to the core of it and taking those other contexts off. So you will have community and support to be able to do that. Um, but yeah, I think you'll enjoy it. Let me also say thank you, ladies, for taking a second to hit the like button. You know, I appreciate you. That helps YouTube share this video with other amazing women who would be interested as well. Keena made the absolute best suggestion for last week, the conversation that we talked about my business, and we were making some suggestions about how, like, what the name, if I'm as I'm evolving the name, what it should be. And her suggestion was to make that video private. So I made it private, but then I realized like all of the people that usually watch it on replay didn't have access. So I have more things that I'm still thinking about that, but I'm like, I need a way to chat with you guys outside of this so that I don't have to make the videos private, because I want people to still be able to um I want people to still be able to be a part of this conversation. This was a good conversation, such a good conversation. So I'm glad that. Thank you so much for suggesting it, Kina. I'm excited to go back and make clips from this and share it as well. That's where some of the processes that I'm trying to work into get myself together with. But yes. Okay. Any final thoughts on that before we wind it down? If so, go ahead and put them in the chat. And then let me see. So the next, let's talk about winding down for the weekend. Also, too, let me know what you drinking today. Megan says she's drinking water. Keena, what you drinking? I'm drinking water too. I got some ice water in mine. I really want some coconut water. I'm gonna have to work on that. Maybe next week. Because the thing is I have to order it. It's not as easily come by. Mm. Keena's got some mango juice. Girl, that sounds good and tropical. I'm into it. I had a strawberry banana protein smoothie before we got on the call. But that mango juice, that sounds good. Oh, that would have been good in that smoothie though. Girl, you got me daydreaming about mangoes now. Oh, I do have some mangoes downstairs. I could just eat some mangoes. That'll be a good snack. Yes. Okay. So hopefully you got a chance. I would love to hear what your results are when you take the quiz, and then winding down for the weekend. So there are a couple things that we do to wind down. You ladies know because you ladies have been around, but our first thing that we do is we see how many windows can we close. Listen, I got windows to close today. I'm gonna close this one. I'm gonna close that one we just had open. That's 2, 3. Oh, that was an interesting graph to show how the word mediocre has gained popularity over the years. Those are probably the years when hustle like really started to grow. Like ambition, when ambition became more widespread. That would be very interesting. So that was 3 windows so far. 4, 5. Somebody was telling me about Poppy AI. And so I haven't finished reading that, but yeah, I'm gonna 1, 2, 3. Yep, all 4 of those are gonna close. I can close this now. See, I got a lot of windows to close a day. But look at us. We talked about this today. We did this. Listen, look at me checking stuff off. Checking stuff off and closing it down. Less windows open. I'm into it. Oh, I had this open in. Did I have this open in 2 spaces? No. No, I didn't. Okay, good. I'm glad I didn't close that. That would have been bad. Okay. Oh, which reminds me, I'm still closing windows. So far, I'm up to like 10 windows to close, okay? But here's something. I need your help. I really need your help. I am at, let me see. I think my official number is like 945. I am at 35. I'm at 935 subscribers, or excuse me, 935 followers on TikTok. Once I get to 1,000 subscribers on TikTok, then I am able to stream this live stream Freedom Fridays to YouTube and to TikTok. And that's really important for me because YouTube and TikTok are the main 2 platforms. I also share to, what is it? I share to Facebook, I share to LinkedIn. I probably should share to Instagram as well. No, I'm not sharing to Instagram because on Instagram, I can give them a link to come over and join us on YouTube. And I'm not that passionate about Instagram, but I am passionate about TikTok. And so once I get to 1,000 subscribers, 1,000 followers on TikTok, then it will allow me to have a stream key, which allow me to do the background stuff to be able to stream on both. So I'm asking you to, if you're not already following me on TikTok, please go follow me on TikTok. Any friends, go say, hey, go do my friend a favor and follow her on TikTok, okay? Like, if you're watching on the replay, go follow me on TikTok, please. And I don't usually do this, but I was like, you know what? I keep saying lean into my support community. Let me go ahead and lean into my community. Like, hey, I need your help. I could truly use your help with this. Um, because this is helping me continue to get this out here, to give us all permission to live a life that we love, a soft life, without burnout and without letting work consume us. Live a life where on this end, on the seventh day, at bare minimum, on the seventh day that we rest. So yes, if you would help me out with that, I would deeply appreciate it. Deeply, deeply appreciate it. Um, in the meantime, there's a really good chance that I am going to test another platform that already allows me to stream to TikTok. The thing is, I don't like the setup of that platform. I don't find it as user friendly as this one. So I'm hoping, I know that once I get to 1,000 subscribers, I'll be able to get the part that I need so that I can stream everything from this one platform and we'll be good to go. So that's why I'm asking for your help. Please and thank you. I'm still closing out some windows. I had a lot of windows open from this week. Um, so yeah, I don't know how many you got open, but y'all, I got tons. Oops, let me close that. I got stuff making noise in my ears. Okay, cool. I think I ended up closing about 15 tabs. How many tabs did you close today? If you don't mind sharing, go ahead and drop it in the chat. Okay. Keena said I can close 10 tabs. Okay, get it, Keena. I ain't mad. I'm with you. I closed some tabs too. Megan said she closed 6. All right, look at us closing tabs. Closing tabs and resting more and drinking water and kicking. Well, no, we didn't kick them. But getting rid of trash mindsets and bro mentality. And here's the other thing. I don't want to downplay masculine energy because we all use masculine and feminine energy. That has nothing to do with being a man or a woman. Okay. But being able to use both in harmony, in balance, is very important. It's very important. So I'm not, so yes, I got off track because I was so busy laughing at my own joke. Keita said, I can't do TikTok. YouTube is my jam for now. I understand. I understand. If you're not on the platform, don't worry about it. But I also was like, you would be mad at me if I didn't ask you. And you'd be like, well, girl, why didn't you tell nobody? So I told you. And if you're not on there, that's completely fine. You got me connected on YouTube, so I'm not complaining, boo. I'm happy. But if you know anybody that's on TikTok and they would be interested, I would love for you to share. And if not, absolutely, absolutely great. I love connecting with you guys here. Okay. So now that we've closed down some tabs for the weekend, or closed down some tabs and our wind down, what is our fun activity for the weekend and our fun meal that we're having for the weekend? I know what my fun activity is, but I don't know what my fun meal is. Oh, y'all, this nail. I told y'all my nail was falling off. Y'all, did y'all notice? My friend noticed the other day. As soon as I walked in the door, he said, "What's wrong with your thumb?" I said, "My fingernail is falling off, remember?" He said, "Oh." And I was like, "Yep, it's still falling off. It's been going for, that happened in July. And the tape is now, I have to change the tape pretty often, but I need to change it for today. But this nail is falling off. It's so close. It's so close. It's not there yet. I'm sorry. I just bumped it. That's what made me stop and look at it because it was hurting. So my fun activity for the weekend, as I said before, tomorrow is a Halloween housewarming party. And the invitations say that costumes are mandatory. So my best friend has been sending me costume ideas like crazy because I am not that person. It actually overwhelms me to do stuff like this. It is not my jam. I do not like it at all. Hey, Marissa, welcome. Girl, we had a good conversation. You're going to have to make sure you go back and listen to the replay. It was good. Right now, we're talking about our wind down for the weekend. So we closed down some tabs. I think I closed 17. Keena closed 10. Megan closed 6. And now we're talking about our fun activity for the weekend. So this Halloween party, getting dressed up. The last costume suggestion that she sent was to be the burglar. So I don't keep up with the news that well, but evidently there were burglaries at the Louvre recently. And so you can get like the mask. I can get the mask and dress up like a burglar, and put like the jewelry on my shirt, and I can look like that. Get like a black beanie and a mask, and wear all black, which I actually do have all black. I wish I had a black turtleneck. I used to have a really cute black turtleneck sleeveless one. I love that. I don't know what happened to that. I think I might have got rid of it when I got rid of all my work clothes, when I like got rid of like my business casual clothes. But that would have been cute. So that was one idea. My other Halloween costume idea, she suggested to be the Chiquita banana sticker. So she said, wrap my head, put some fruit in it, wear all black, and then put a piece of cardboard behind my head that was blue like the sticker, and write Chiquita on it. And that could be the Chiquita sticker. That was another suggestion. She had another one that was like somebody that had dressed up like the McDonald's burglar, and that costume was a little too much. I'm not doing all of that. So, not doing that one. My suggestion, what I really wanted to be was Ahsoka Tano from Star Wars, cuz I'm a nerd and I like Ahsoka Tano, and I love that Rosario Dawson was Ahsoka. So I would love to dress up like her. I would need to go find the stuff. I'm going to the costume store in the morning because the party is tomorrow night. And I'm like, hopefully everything will be marked down tomorrow so that I can get the cheap costume then. But I kind of like the idea of the burglar because then you just pin some, that's probably the easiest costume I've seen so far. I can get a black mask. Maybe I could get that from like the dollar store, and a black beanie, and wear all black, and then pin the different jewelry on me like I'm the burglar. That's the easiest one. And then I'll have to look up the story so that I know I have some context of what my costume is around. I also thought about doing Betty Boop because Betty Boop was fashioned off of a black woman. And then my best friend was like, "But what are you gonna wear for that? Because Betty Boop didn't wear no clothes and it's cold." And I was like, "Oop, not being Betty Boop. You right, because she I would be half naked, and I ain't about to go outside half naked. So not being Betty Boop." And then I was thinking, well, what clothes do I have in my closet? And I have a dress that's kind of Marilyn Monroe-ish. And I was like, well, maybe I could be the black version of Marilyn Monroe. And instead of wearing all white with white hair and the red lip, maybe I'll wear all black and a denim jacket and some sneakers because that's what the black Marilyn Monroe would do. And then put like the beauty mark and the red lips and get like a wig. So I thought about doing that. She said a blonde wig, but I don't want a blonde wig. I want it to be like almost like the yin and yang, because Marilyn Monroe had like the blonde wig, but she also wore the white and all of that other stuff. So I wanted to kind of be on the flip side of that. I wanted to all be black, black person, all black, blacked out. So I thought about that. So those were my costume ideas, but you could tell which one I'm leaning to. Are y'all getting dressed up? Did your kids get, well, Marissa, did your son get dressed up? Keena and Megan and I, we don't have any kids, so do y'all do Halloween parties? I thought that this would be fun, like a fun way to get out, but I don't like dressing up, so we'll see how it goes. Keena said, I'm going out with the family to have a barbecue this weekend. To have barbecue. Ooh, that sounds amazing. There is this place called something smokehouse, and it's in Concord, which is like a suburb of Charlotte. And I didn't get a chance to go while I was there, but I have to go back to Charlotte next week. So maybe I could get some, like, well, let me rephrase that. I'm going to Savannah next week via Charlotte, which reminds me, we're not doing Freedom Fridays. We're not doing happy hour next Friday. It'll be the week after that. But but yeah, maybe while I'm there, I could drive over there and get some and then like have it on my way back to Atlanta. So we'll see. Marissa said maybe Billie Holiday instead of Marilyn. Ooh, I like that. Billie Holiday is fly. And then it's funny, you know what? When I told my best friend about the costume for a Maryland, she said, "Well, then you might as well just be not Billy, Josephine, Josephine Scott." I hate when I have a brain fart. She's like, "You might as well just be her then," and I was like, "Oh, that could work too. I like that even better." I don't know. I have to find an outfit, but honestly at this point, I think I'm just gonna be the burglar. I actually really like that. I think it's cute. I think I actually have the stuff like at hand's distance to be able to get that. That's probably what I'm gonna do. So I don't know if I'm gonna go out and get it tonight, but probably tomorrow morning. I'll look for. I should go look tonight just in case I can't find it. But I need to find a black beanie. I don't have a black beanie. I just have a gray one. And what else? And the mask. And then I already have all black, and I already got some costume jewelry I could pin on me. So Marissa said, my kiddo got one of those all black full body suits, and he just wants to walk around unseen and jump out and scare folks. Oh my gosh. Please get a video of him jumping out and scaring somebody. I just want to see. I just think that would be too cute. My goddaughters like stuff like that. Oh, my goddaughters did dress up, but they didn't dress up. I don't think they dressed up today. I think I know that they dressed up last weekend because the school did like the Halloween thing separate. So they both dressed up like Wednesday. Well, they dressed up like characters from Wednesday. So the youngest goddaughter was dressed up as Wednesday, and then the oldest goddaughter was dressed up as Enid. And it goes with their personalities so well. Like the oldest one is very bubblegum, rainbows, unicorn vibe, just like Enid. And the youngest one, she can cut with her words. just just like Wednesday. Listen, I might watch that just to honor them. That would be fun. So maybe I actually have some other stuff I want to do tonight, so I'm not going to be watching a lot of TV, but yes, that so that was very fun. It was so cute. I agree. Marissa said, y'all, he has been scaring me all week. That's hilarious. He is living his best life, but I have been stressed. Oh no, that is adorable though. That is absolutely adorable. I hope you guys are you going out trick-or-treating tonight? I hope you have so much fun. Which reminds me, third thing. Okay, we talked about what's our fun activity. We talked about closing tabs. What fun meal are you gonna eat this weekend? I know what I'm not gonna eat. I had bought these like prepared meals, and I add vegetables to them. but they're not canned goods. I don't know how to explain them, but they're like dry good meals, and you add water, and they're like pasta meals or rice meals. Um, excuse me. But with my hives, half of the flavors break me out and the other halves don't. The other half doesn't. And so the other day I had one and I had hives. I still have hives all across my stomach from breaking out that day. So I'm not having any of those because I'm just like, I want the swelling and the puffiness to go down, which it is what it is. So that's what I'm not having. I might make some ramen. I really didn't think that much about it. Oh, I still may need to make that recipe, that vegan gumbo. I just haven't got a chance to go buy all the stuff from for that recipe that Keena sent me. So I got that in my repertoire as well. You know what I am gonna have? Popcorn. Do y'all know that's my favorite thing? I feel like I haven't talked about it in a while. I love me some popcorn with some vegan butter. I got me some Earth Balance butter and some nutritional yeast. Listen, that's what I'm excited about. Okay. Marissa said, I'm going to yoga for fun this weekend, then cleaning out my RV. I didn't know you had a Did I know you had an RV? I don't think I knew you had an RV. I want to see pictures of the RV too. All the things. Oh, you just made me excited. I love that. Yay for yoga. Where's the yoga going to be? Well, I'm guessing it's going to be inside because it's starting to get cold. But yes, that sounds like a lovely weekend. And yeah, you love popcorn too. Yes. Listen, let me give all the hearts to that because I love me some popcorn, my favorite. Okay, y'all. Well, it's that time to wind it down. Thank you so much for joining me for happy hour. I hope you enjoyed your drinks and conversations today. If you missed the beginning of the conversation, or if you're joining us for the replay, leave comments like you are still a part of it. We would love to hear your thoughts. I like to give all the different perspectives. So it's always a fun conversation. Shout out again to Keena for making that suggestion and sending over that reel. I love it. I love it. I love it. I'm excited for the future conversations that are coming. Thank you for joining me. Marissa said, yes, I have a very old 1978 RV that I used to live in. Oh my gosh, I'm jealous. That sounds like the most awesome home improvement project. I love stuff like that. I've actually been thinking about doing something like that. For the longest time, I avoided it because I was just like, I don't want to do that work. But I'm starting to get to the place where it might be a thing. I say that right now, and then 20 minutes later, I might change my mind. But I love the idea of it. How about that? That just makes me super excited. Marissa said, thanks for letting me pop in and chat at the end. Of course, my girl. We love that we have you here. Thank you for taking time to pop in and enjoy us. Thanks for everybody that took a second to share this with a friend. Don't forget to ask them to go over to TikTok and follow if you're on TikTok. If you're not, no pressure. I'm so close to 1,000 followers, and I would love your help with that. And yeah, I will see you next weekend. Let me go ahead and pop on this outro vibe. Let me see. Listen. Now, what in the world? Okay, here we go. All right, y'all. I will see you next week. No, the weekend. The week after next. Next Friday, I will be in Savannah doing a pop-up, so I won't see you next week. But make sure you check out one of the other Freedom Fridays, whether it's a happy hour or a co-planning session. Share it with another Black woman. Enjoy your weekend. Make sure you still take time to wind down for the weekend. Close out some tabs. Eat some good food. Go do something fun. And I will see you in 2 weeks. know I enjoy you. All right, y'all. See you next week.